What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Game Flex, and I'm back here with another video. And today I'm having my top 3 prospects in the 2020 draft for the Miami Dolphins that I want the Miami Dolphins to draft. Now, I got number 1 on the screen already. Not number 1, but number 3. All right, I'm going to order from my least favorite to my favorite, which are all my favorites, but, you know what I'm saying, my least favorite from 3 to 1. I would be happy with any of these players if we draft them. Now, I'm still sick, so if I sound different, of course, that's why. Like and comment on the video. Let me know who you guys' top 3 is. Make sure y'all like the video and hit the sub. I'm making a sick video. I'm actually sick. I'm powering through it. I feel like Jordan in the flu game right now. I'm powering through it to make this video for the streets. Okay, now I want to start off with some honorable mentions. I want to start off with what's this guy's name? Mekhi Becton, and I know I probably didn't say that right, but maybe I did. And also Jedrick Willis, 2 offensive linemen that are great. I personally don't want to draft an offensive lineman at 5. I feel like it's too high. If we do draft an offensive line, I'm not going to rage, okay? Because I understand it kind of, but it's not a sexy pick, and I like sexy picks. I like a pick that I can just really like look at the highlights all night after we pick them type of stuff. I don't really like when we draft offensive linemen super high. I mean, I've woken up on many draft days and watched this draft Powell-C, watch this draft Tunsil. Well, I like Tunsil a lot. I like that pick a lot because it was so like it was a steal because he had did drugs. But I see this draft Juwan. They're just not my most exciting picks in the world. I would rather see us draft a skill position player. Maybe that's selfish of me. Like I said, but it's not really because it's not like I'm saying I'm gonna be angry if we do draft an offensive lineman. I just feel like it's a little too early. Honestly, I feel like we could trade if we wanted to draft an offensive lineman. Rather than do it at 5, if they're available at 5, I feel like we could just trade back because whatever team is gonna want to trade up to 5, they're probably gonna want to get Love, or if Tua is available still, and if we don't want Tua, which I doubt, if Tua is available, we don't draft him. But if Tua is available, they might want to get Love or Herbert. So I feel like we could trade back, honestly, if it came down to it. If we really want to get one of these offensive linemen. So they're not in my top 3, but I'm just saying honorable mentions, the offensive linemen that I named, I would not be completely angry if we drafted them because I would understand it. You know what I'm saying? They're important. Now, to get to my favorite 3 prospects, all right? Number 3, Jeff Okudah. He's on the screen right now, and the reason why I like him so much, y'all, is because he's a perfect cornerback prospect as you could ask for. He don't get penalized. All right, he's a ball hawk, and he has perfect size, right? He ran a 4.4 in the draft. He's fast. I just don't see, like, it's just nothing wrong with him. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's something wrong with everybody. I don't know what's wrong with him. I watched some of his film. The first game, I actually watched him because I don't watch a lot of college, but I did watch the bowl games, and he was a beast. You know what I'm saying? Got a strip at a time. Like, he was a beast. So I look at some of his other games. I would love to have Jeff Okudah. Now, you say, well, you don't really need him. We have Xavier Howard, but you can't like go wrong with 2 really good cornerbacks. All right, and Xavier Howard, he has some issues, right? His injuries being my biggest concern, but you know what I'm saying. I was one of the biggest proponents for him to get his new contract. I was rooting for him to get his new contract badly, but his injuries are concerning. All right, I would be lying if I said they weren't slightly concerning. But I ain't too worried about it. And then he has some legal issues which have been dropped, so I'm not going to talk about it too much because they have been dropped. And so Xavier Howard there's some question marks there. If we get Okudah and have Xavier Howard, and Xavier Howard actually plays to how I know he could play, and Jeff Okudah ends up being the prospect that I know he could be with his length and his size and his speed, we would have a scary, scary secondary. We have the best secondary. I ain't gonna lie, bro. We have the best secondary. And in the passing league, and next year we gotta play the Chiefs. In the passing league that this league is heading towards, obviously you look at some teams like the Titans and the 49ers, and they're more running teams. But at the end of the day, the league is still as a whole a passing league. If you're gonna win most of these games in the league, you're gonna have to be able to beat a passing quarterback. So you can't have 2. You can't go wrong with 2 really good cornerbacks. And if the other 2 players that I'm about to name are taken by the time the Dolphins pick Okudah, I feel like will be the best player available on the board. He will be the best player to pick. If these other 2 players, I'll take it. So that's my 3rd favorite prospect. Make sure y'all, like I said, y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys' top 3 is. But that's my 3rd favorite prospect. Going into my 2nd favorite prospect for the Miami Dolphins to take with the 5th pick in the draft. And keep in mind, I'm not going to put Joe Burrow and Chase Young. I don't know if I already said this at the beginning of the video. This is my 2nd time recording it. I know I said it the last time. But anyway, I'm not putting Chase Young and Joe Burrow into these videos because I know that they're not going to be available by the time we pick unless we trade up. And if we do trade up, it better be for one of them. And unless we trade up, they're not going to be available. So I don't put them in my videos. They're not on this top 3. So, but just know, if either of them drop to 5, any of them come to 5, I want them over anybody, okay? Coming in number 2, Tua Tagovailoa. I think I said it right. I ain't gonna lie. I think I said it right. Either way, Tua. Tua is my second favorite prospect. He would be my first unanimously if he did not get injured. And honestly, if he did not get injured, he wouldn't even be on this because we wouldn't be able to have a chance of getting him if he didn't get injured. If Tua didn't get injured, he'd probably be the first overall draft pick. We don't really know that for sure, but let's just say if Tua doesn't get injured and then maybe the LSU and Alabama play each other down the line, maybe in the bowl games or whatever. Obviously, they played each other before, and Joe Burrow got the best of them. But if Tua played like he played his whole college career and they end up beating him in a bowl game or something like that, Tua was going to be the number 1 draft pick. All right, Tua was going to be the number 1 draft pick if he never got injured. But he did get injured, so now he's 5. If he never got injured, I think it would be a situation where I wouldn't even speak about no other prospect but Tua. Like, it would just be like we had to get Tua. But the injury, it just shook a lot of things up. Now Tua, some people say he's the greatest passer to ever play college football. Or one of the greatest to ever play college football. I don't watch college like that to know. I haven't been watching it for years. I didn't see, other passers. But Tua was very good. Incredibly accurate, incredible in the RPOs, and it's a guy that the Dolphins have wanted for so long. He's my second favorite prospect, just off the fact that I almost feel like the whole season, the whole squad is assembled around us getting him. And I would definitely take the risk because if he does return to the same player that he was before the injury, we're going to have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And I think the risk is worth taking. Now, in the last video, I said I would not trade up for him because then you're making the risk from here to here because then you're giving up other assets as well to get him. I wouldn't do all that, and I don't think it's necessary to do all that. But I would draft him if he fell to 5. He's my second favorite prospect because I would just take the risk. I'm not saying like even if he gets injured, right? If he re-breaks his hip or whatever, re-dislocates his hip, I would take that chance because of how good he was in college and how he was one of the best quarterbacks college ever seen. So I'll take that chance alone. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? Scare money at the end of the day does not make no money. That is an old saying. Scare money don't make no money, and I believe it. You cannot be scared. Now, I still wouldn't draft him. I wouldn't trade up for him, but if he fell to 5, I would definitely draft him because scare money don't make no money. It's that simple. You can't be scared. We were scared with Drew Brees, and obviously these are different circumstances, but we was extremely scared with Drew Brees. We got Culpepper. Scared money don't make no money. We sucked ever since, right? So you can't be that scared. If he falls to 5, you kind of got to get him, I believe. If you had to ask me right now, if I had a gun to my head and they told me if you get who the Dolphins draft wrong, I'm going to shoot you, I would say it's Tua. Like I'm almost like out of anybody in the draft, if I could put money on who we're gonna draft, I would definitely say it's Tua. I feel like it's destiny almost, and I would let it draft because of what he did before he got injured. You know what I'm saying? He has, I believe, an 8-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He was crazy accurate. He don't have the strongest arm, but well, Jay Cutler has the strongest arm. You can see where he's at. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the strongest arm, but he's still a great player and still has a good arm. And it's just playing the quarterback position. He really doesn't have many weaknesses. He's a little small in stature, but he's a monster. He's just a monster. No pass he can't make. I draft him at 5, but he's not my number 1 prospect. All right. Well, really, honestly, all 3 of these guys are my number 1s because I would just be extremely ecstatic with every one of them. Like, for instance, just because he's my number 2 and Okudah is my number 3 doesn't mean that I would be disappointed if we drafted Okudah instead of him. I wouldn't. But, you know what I'm saying? Just because, like, they're in an order like this doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying, we have to draft him in this order. I just want one of these players. All right? So, yeah, I would love Tua. Fast release. I mean, he's just the perfect prospect, honestly. Perfect quarterback prospect who just had the most unfortunate injury I think I could ever remember in modern history, okay? Well, in recent times, it's the most unfortunate injury ever that is even making this a discussion. If he didn't get injured, it would not be a discussion. It would be a one-man race, all right? We need to draft Tua. But, made a discussion. All right, so getting into the last and final, my number 1 prospect, the guy that I would be extremely happy if we got. Isaiah Simmons. Now, you would like him over Tua Flex? Sorta. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna be angry if we draft either one. If Isaiah Simmons and Tua are both there and we draft Tua over Simmons, I'm not gonna be angry. But I absolutely love Isaiah Simmons. He got stuff that you can't buy. 4.3 speed, you can't buy it. 6'4" height, you can't buy it. 238, you can't buy it. And if you're one of them people who hated Minkah because he didn't want to play everywhere, this is a guy who literally is meant to play everywhere. He is Minkah Fitzpatrick on steroids. He's bigger, he's stronger, he runs faster, he jumps higher. The only thing, he didn't bench press, so I don't know if he lifts more, but I'm just saying, as far as the combine goes, he does everything better than Minkah Fitzpatrick. But what made Minkah so good is that Minkah used his head, and Minkah used to be a beast in the as far as film studying and stuff, and then you compare his mind, you know what I'm saying, to some of the greats as far as like Ray Lewis, as far as just thinking. I don't know if Isaiah Simmons has that, so I'm not saying Isaiah Simmons is a better player than Minkah, but Isaiah Simmons could start watching more film. He could start thinking about the game more. Whereas Minkah, you can't buy 6'4", you can't buy 4'3", and you can't buy that vertical. Alright, so he has potential to be way better than Minkah ever was. Now, he's a linebacker, so you're saying why you compare him to Minkah? Because he also played safety too, right? He played a lot of positions. I feel like this guy is what everybody thought Minkah was. Now, I knew what Minkah was. Minkah was supposed to be a versatile player who majority played free safety, right? But we had him in a box in that linebacker. This is a guy that actually could be in a box in that linebacker and rush the court. He does everything, and honestly, if I was him, he should be begging to play for the Dolphins because we have a perfect position for him. Because whatever that Brian Flores was trying to do with Minkah, just do it with Isaiah Simmons. All right? He's perfect for it. He actually has the size for it. And I don't know if any other team, I feel like the only way a guy like this could be a bust is if people didn't know what to do with him and they just did the wrong shit with him. Like kind of like we did with Minkah. But I don't think we'll do the wrong stuff with him. I mean, do you know what you could do with somebody like this? Do you know how much this opens up the defense when you have a player like this that can fly around and do everything? Like I said, if you got a player like this that can just do everything, rush the pass, or play, bro, he's going to open up so much for the defense. And this is what we wanted Minkah to do, and he couldn't do it. This is not a better situation. This is not a better fit to do whatever you wanted Minkah to do. And I just think he could just be a game-changing player on the defense. I think he could be just like, oh, we have some game-changing players, but this dude right here, man, if we get him, man, he can just fly around. He could be everywhere. I just think he's gonna make plays. You know what I'm saying? Running backs, he got that speed. Running backs are not gonna be able to run around the edge, get to the edge on them. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? This guy is a true jack of all trades. This guy actually played like evenly, actually. Like he's everything you thought Minkah was and more. All right, so I would draft him at number 5 because he's even more versatile because his size allows him to be. I would draft him. There are concerns with me. Would we play him? And is it that important? Say if he's on the board and the Cooter's on the board, how important is? I feel like an outside corner is always gonna be more important than in the box safety. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, his versatility and how we could use him could make him way more valuable. So I don't know. I have concerns about every draft prospect, and that's why it's the draft. That's why it's so fun. But this is my favorite player in the draft right now, as of now. You know what I'm saying? Him and Tua are like 1A, 1B, and then okudah is like, 2. I like Tua a lot too. I know it don't seem like it because last video I said I'm not trading up for him, but I do like Tua a lot. He's the best quarterback. He's like a perfect prospect, but that injury, it's just nothing for certain with that injury. And his durability. But get in the conversation. If I was a coward, I would have just said, listen, I got a first place tie between Tua and Isaiah Simmons, but I'm not a coward, so I'm just gonna say Isaiah Simmons 1, Tua 2. All right. But trust me, if we draft any of the 3 players that I named, I would not be angry. And like I said, since we do have the 5th pick, one of these players are going to be available. Assuming that the first overall draft pick is Joe Burrow, like everybody knows it's going to be, and the 2nd pick is Chase Young, like everybody knows it's going to be. We will have a chance to get at least one of these players. So we need to make that move. Like I said, get in the conversation. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you guys' top 3 prospects for the Dolphins are. If it's Tua, let me know. Get in the conversation. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Roll to 9K. Your boy K Flexing. I'm out.